Hello all. Today I am going to post the answers for exercise 7. You can see that in all my videos, you can see that all the exercises are different sums, and all the sums are based only on the concept which are taught in that video. Okay. So if you do all these sums, which is very useful for you, and it will develop your innovative thinking so that it is easy for you to answer the questions which are asked in the public, because the same book question is not asked in your public examination. So please do all the sums. If you have any doubt, please post your doubt. I would clarify all your doubts. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me see the continuation of the complex numbers. Today we are going to see about square root of a complex number. How to find out the square root of the complex number. Okay. So let us take z is equal to, you can take any complex number. Let us take it as a plus ib, where b is not equal to 0. Z is equal to a plus ib, where b is not equal to 0. We are interested in finding out square root of a plus ib. So what is square root of a plus ib? Because it is a complex number, certainly you will get a complex number x plus iy. Our aim is to find out x plus iy. Okay. How to find out x plus iy? Just to see the proof. X plus iy equal to root of a plus ib. Squaring on both sides. On squaring, x plus iy the whole square equal to a plus ib. As usual, a plus b the whole, I am applying a plus b the whole square formula, or p plus q the whole square formula. What is p plus q the whole square? Because already I am using the word ab here. So I am taking it as p plus q the whole square. So p square plus q square iy the whole square plus 2pq equal to a plus ib. So on simplification, x square, I square is minus 1 minus y square plus I 2xy equal to a plus ib. Is it clear? So these two complex numbers are equal means x square minus y square equal to a and 2xy equal to b. Because I am equating the real part and I am equating the imaginary part. Is it clear? Okay. Our aim is to find out x and y. So I am going to use one more formula. Or you can simply use 2xy equal to b and y is equal to b by 2x. On substituting this, you will get one equation. On solving the equation, that is somewhat tedious process. So I am going to apply one more concept as using the formula. Already you heard about this formula. P plus q the whole square equal to p minus q the whole square plus 4pq. Check it. P minus q the whole square is p square minus 2pq. Here it is 4pq. Minus 2pq plus 4pq get cancelled. It becomes 2pq. See here, p square plus q square plus 2pq. Already you learned this in your 8th or 9th standard, I think so. Okay. Using this formula, instead of p, I am going to use the word x square, and I am going to use the word, I am going to use the letter x square, and here I am going to use the letter y square. So what will happen? X square plus y square the whole square equal to x square minus y square the whole square plus 4x square y square. Clear? Okay. Already you know that x square minus y square is equal to a. So this becomes a square plus, see here, 2xy is b. 4x square y square. On squaring this, 4x square y square. 4x square y square becomes b square. Is it clear? So in the place of 4x square y square, I am going to take b square. Clear now? See here, what is a square plus b square? What is z? A plus ib. If z is equal to a plus ib means, you in last class you heard that modulus of z is equal to root of a square plus b square. Am I correct? Modulus of z is equal to root of a square plus b square. So x square plus y square equal to the whole square is x square plus y square, the whole square is equal to a square plus b square. So a square plus b square becomes modulus of z square. Is it clear? Therefore x square plus y square is equal to modulus of z. Clear now? So see this as one part and take this as the second part. First part, second part. Go through these two parts. Here x square minus y square, here x square plus y square. So just I am adding these two parts. 1 plus 2 gives. What will you get? This y square and this y square get cancelled. Here x square, here also x square. So 2x square equal to, I am adding these two. Therefore you are getting modulus of z plus a. Clear now? Therefore 2x square is equal to modulus of z plus a. Therefore x square is equal to modulus of z plus a whole thing divided by 2. But we are interested in finding out only x. Therefore x is equal to plus or minus root of modulus of z plus a whole thing divided by 2. So we get the real part of root of a plus ib, which is x, that x is equal to plus or minus root of modulus of z plus a by 2. See again, instead of adding first equation and second equation, I am subtracting these two equations. Subtracting means x square plus y square is equal to modulus of z, and subtraction means minus x square plus y square is equal to minus a. Is it clear now? So x square get cancelled, here y square, here y square. So I can take the result here itself. 1 plus 2 gives. Similarly I am going to write here 2 minus 1 gives, because 2 is y square is positive, here y square is negative, so I am writing 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1. X square minus x square get cancelled. Y square plus y square, 2y square equal to modulus of z minus a. Therefore y square is equal to modulus of z minus a by 2. Y is equal to plus or minus root of modulus of z minus a by 2. Clear? Now what is the value of y here? Y is equal to plus or minus root of modulus of z minus a whole thing divided by 2. So we are getting x's plus or minus this and y's plus or minus this. We are because it is a square root, we want to get only two answers. How to find out the two answers? Just see 2xy equal to b. So in 2xy equal to b, 2 cannot be negative. If x is positive, if b becomes positive means, b positive means both x and y positive, or both x and y negative. Clear now? X and y positive or x and y negative, we will get b is positive. Similarly, b is negative means x positive and y negative, or x negative, y positive. So instead of writing like this, I am going to write in a simple way. That is, x plus iy can be written as, instead of taking plus or minus root of modulus of z plus a by 2. This is x. And y in the place of y, plus or minus b by modulus of b. See here, b is always positive. B by modulus of b. So according to this b, we are going to find out the value of this x plus iy using this relation 2xy equal to b. So if b is positive means both x and y positive, x and y is negative. If b is negative means you have to consider x is positive and y is negative, and x is negative and y is positive. In this way we are getting two roots. Here also in this way we are getting two roots. So plus or minus I into b by modulus of b root of modulus of z minus a by 2. Is it clear now? So in order to find out the, I am writing this as simply as plus or minus, I am going to take out common, square root of modulus of z plus a by 2 b by modulus of b plus I square root of modulus of z minus a by 2. Is it clear now? So no need to prove, in order to find out the square root of a complex number, no need to prove all these things. It is enough to use this formula in this system in Tamil Nadu State Board syllabus book. It is enough to find out, use this formula, x plus iy is equal to this formula. You can easily get the answer for square root of a complex number. Let me see an example. Find the square root of minus 6 plus 8i. So minus 6 plus 8i, let us take z is equal to minus 6 plus 8i. Clear now? Just I am going to use this formula alone. A is equal to minus 6, b is equal to 8. Clear? Okay. What is modulus of z? Which is equal to root of minus 6 the whole square plus 8 square, which is equal to 36 plus 64. 36 plus 64 is 100. Root of 100 equal to 10. Clear now? So the square root of minus 6 plus 8i equal to, just I am applying the formula. Modulus of z is 10 plus a is minus 6 by 2 square root plus I am going to use plus or minus here, I, b is 8 by modulus of 8 into square root of 10 minus in the place of a I am going to use minus 6 by 2. Clear now? So the answer is plus or minus root of 10 minus 6, which is 4. 4 by 2 is 2. So 2 plus 8 by 8 is 1. Therefore it becomes I. 10 plus 16. 10 plus 6, 16. 16 by 2, 8. So root 8. Is it clear? See here. X is b, 2ab. B is positive. B is positive means both should be positive and both should be negative. Since B is positive, x and y be positive and x and y be negative. So the answer is, the square roots are root 2 plus I. Root 8 can be written as 2 root 2, comma, minus root 2 plus, minus I into 2 root 2 are the square roots of what? Minus 6 plus 8. Clear now? I will give you some more problems using this concept. Now we are entering into a new part, that is locus of a complex number. Complex number z. Now what is the meaning of locus? You already heard this word in 11th standard. Once again I am repeating you. Locus. Locus is a path traced by a moving point. Locus is a path traced by a moving point under specific geometrical condition. Locus means it is just a path. Path traced by a moving point. A point moves in accordance with the given some property. With that property we are going to trace the point. So how we are going to find out the locus of a complex number? Let me see. First, before entering into it, let us define a circle. Define a circle. Circle. What is the meaning of a circle? Let us take a fixed point. Consider this point as z0. And moving point, let us take it as z. Just to see, one person is standing here and another person is standing here. I want to rotate this person. I want to make movement of this person z. How? In such a manner that the distance between these two, that is the fixed point and the moving point, is always constant. Let the constant distance be r. How I am making it? Let us take one person is standing here and another person is standing here. I want to move this person in such a manner that the distance between these two points should be r. So how can I move? This z is here, then the z, let us take this position as z1, and I am taking this point, the distance z2, and distance between this z2. So I am moving in such a manner that, just to see, suppose z is here, let us take that point as zp. The distance between these two is r. While I am rotating all the points, moving all the points in such a manner that the distance between these 2 points is always constant. Just to see what will be the graph you are getting, what will be the diagram you are getting. The diagram is nothing but a circle. Is it clear now? So what is the definition of a circle? The distance between a fixed point and the distance between the moving point is always constant. This z0 and z distance is constant represents the locus of a circle. Okay. What is how will you write it in mathematically? Means distance between any two complex numbers denoted as modulus of z minus z0, which is already discussed in your last video. The distance between these 2 points is nothing but modulus of z minus z0, which is what? Which is equal to r. So this fixed point is called as z0. This z0 is called as the center of the circle, and r is the radius of the circle. Is it clear now? Radius of the circle. Once again I am repeating you. I am going to draw a circle. Just consider a circle. Taking the center as z0. Take a moving point z. The distance between them is r. You can take any point. The distance between them is r. Is it clear? So modulus of z minus z0 equal to r is the definition given to circle, and here z0 is the center of the circle and r is the radius of the circle. Radius of circle. Is it clear now? So using this result we are going to prove, I am going to tell some more results. Suppose this z0 becomes an origin. Just to check, z0 is equal to origin. What will you get? Modulus of z is equal to r. Clear now? Modulus of z is equal to r means what? Distance of a complex number from the origin is r. So modulus of z is equal to r. I will teach it in next video. Anyway, you can easily understand that modulus of z is equal to r means it form a circle with radius r unit having the center is 0. Is it clear? So next one, if modulus of z minus z0 lesser than r, can you guess any answer of this? Modulus of z minus z0 lesser than r means where will the z lie? So z lies inside the circle. You have to check and tell it. You can check this answer. If you have any doubt, please post me the doubt. Then can you say this answer? Modulus of z minus z0 greater than r. What will you get? Z lies outside the circle. Clear now? So using these results you can find many problems. We will discuss all the problems in later class. Okay. Next one. Okay. Now again I am coming to the first part. Modulus of z is equal to r. Already you know that modulus of z means modulus of z square is equal to, I can write this as r square. And you heard about that, what is modulus of z square? Z bar is equal to r square. Clear? So what is z bar? Z bar is equal to r square by z. Is it clear now? I have applied this model in one sum in the last previous video class. So if you know the concept means you can apply this concept in various levels so that you will get the you will get thorough in that chapter. Okay, next result. Now you can write this also as z bar is equal to r square into what is 1 by z, which is nothing but z power minus 1. This can be asked for your talent exam questions also. Let me see an example. Find the center and radius of modulus of 3z minus 2 plus I equal to 4. How to find out the center and radius? We have to make this sum into this form. Modulus of z minus z naught is equal to r. Here z naught is the center and r is the radius. In that way I am going to apply. So I am taking out 3, that is 3z. So taking 3, or you can simplify z, then we can use the 3, you can divide by 3. Instead of taking 3 divided by 3, I am taking 3 outside. So z minus 2 plus I by 3 equal to 4. Just to check it, 3z minus 2 plus I whole thing divided by 3. That 3 will be cancelled, because modulus of z1 by modulus of z2, modulus of z2 is 3 here, that 3 and this 3 will be get cancelled. Okay, so modulus of z minus of 2 plus I, or I can write this as 2 by 3 plus I by 3 equal to 4 by 3. Just to see, it is of the form modulus of z minus z naught is equal to r. So your center is z naught. Z naught is 2 by 3 plus I by 3. So I am going to write the center as a point. So point ordered pair form. How would you write ordered form? 2 by 3, comma, imaginary part is 1 by 3. So center is 2 by 3, comma 1 by 3, and radius is 4 by 3. Is it clear now? So we are finding center and radius. If please note that z coefficient must be 1. Before any number comes before z means we are going to take out that number and make it as z. Clear now? Next one. Let us see one more note. What will happen if z minus z1 equal to z minus z2? What is the locus? Just we are interested in finding out modulus of z minus z1 is equal to modulus of z minus z2. How to find out the locus? So see here, what is the meaning of modulus of z minus z1? I am proving it in a diagrammatic way. Let us take z1 is here. This is real axis and this is imaginary axis. Let us take z1 is here and I am going to take z2 as here. Okay, and zb is some other point in such a manner that the distance between z and z1 equal to z and z2. See here, the distance between z and z1 and the distance between z and z2 are equal. Suppose if I am taking z here, I am going to join z1 and z2. Suppose if I am taking z here, the distance between z and z1, distance between z and z2 are equal. Is it clear now? Now let us take this point as zp. Okay. Next I am going to take one more point, which is here. The distance between z and z1, z and z2 are equal. Is it clear now? Once again I am taking one more point. Let us take this as zl. Below the line, let us take this point as zq. See here, the distance between zq and z1 and zq and z2, these two distances are equal. What is the meaning of locus? I am going to collect all the points which are equidistant from z1 and z2. I am going to collect all the points which are equidistant from z1 and z2. See here, I am take zp, zl, zq and you are going to collect all the points. And I am going to take a path. I am going to draw a path. Just to see how I am drawing the path. What will you get? See what will you get? It is the perpendicular bisector of line joining z1 and z2. Will you observe this from this diagram? Okay. Now what is this? Modulus of z1 minus z2, z minus z1 is equal to z minus z2 means is the locus is the perpendicular bisector of bisector of line joining Z1 and Z2 to complex. Is it clear? So it is an interesting fact. This may be asked for your IIT question or some other talent examination question. So if you are proving it diagrammatically, means within a second you can do this problem very easily. Now let me see some more interesting result. Instead of Z1 is a complex number, Z2 is a complex number. Suppose this complex number becomes purely real, Z minus A, real is it is a real number, equal to modulus of Z plus A. Let me check the answer. Modulus of Z minus A equal to Z plus A. A may be 3 or 4 or 5, anything. So how we are getting the locus? Let us check. So let A be any point. With an example I am telling you, modulus of Z minus 2 equal to modulus of Z plus 2. Okay. Z is a complex number and 2 is a number where 2 lies in real axis. So Z minus 2 means here Z minus Z naught. Z naught is 2. So 2 is here. Okay. Z plus 2. What is the meaning of distance between any two complex numbers? Modulus of Z1 minus Z2. Please note the symbol minus Z2. So Z plus 2 means the next complex number is minus 2. Okay. Where Z lies, these two, that is the distance between 2 and minus 2, and I am going to take a complex number Z in such a manner that the distance between Z and 2 and Z and minus 2 is always equal. So modulus means the distance between the two complex numbers, these two. So I am taking Z here. See, these two distances are equal. If I am taking Z here, these two distances are equal. If I am taking Z here, these two distances are equal. Similarly, if I am taking Z here, these two distances are equal. We can collect all the points where the locus, if I am joining all the points, the locus lies on imaginary axis. Just to see, the locus lies on imaginary axis. So imaginary axis, according to our coordinate system, imaginary axis is nothing but our y axis. If I am taking Z is equal to x plus iy, we are getting the answer as imaginary number as the answer. That is 0, imaginary part is 1, imaginary part is 2, imaginary part is 3, or imaginary part is 1 by 2, imaginary part is 1 by 3. So there is no answer in the real part. Or according to our Cartesian system, what is equation of y-axis? Equation of y-axis is x is equal to 0. So modulus of Z minus A equal to Z plus A. Then the locus is a straight line. Here also the locus is the perpendicular bisector of line. Perpendicular bisector is also a line. Straight line. Okay. Here also locus is a straight line. That straight line is what? Your y-axis. Y-axis means equation is x is equal to 0. The locus is a straight line, x is equal to 0. Equation of y-axis, that is imaginary axis, is x is equal to 0. Is it clear now? Similarly, we can see that. Can you guess the answer of this? Z minus ai equal to modulus of Z plus a. Can you guess? Modulus of Z minus ai equal to Z plus a. Again the same manner. A means it is a point in imaginary axis. A distance. This is minus a distance. See here. Suppose your Z is here. The distances are equal. Z may be here, here. So where the Z lies, just check, it lies on the real axis. According to coordinate system, what is real axis? X axis. What is equation of x axis? Y is equal to 0. So for this also, if you are taking Z is equal to x plus iy, the locus is a straight line, x is equal to 0 for this sum. So real part occurs, x is equal to 0. If the imaginary part occurs as Z1 and Z2, so just to see the locus. We are getting the real axis. So the locus is y is equal to 0 is a straight line. Is it clear now? So using these concepts, we are going to do some more problems. So in this class, we discussed square root of a complex number and locus of a complex number in the Cartesian form. Now I am giving some problems for obtaining the Cartesian form of the locus of the complex number. these two sums are a little bit different for you, 4 and 5. So you can do fourth sum. I will explain fifth sum. You can complete these 4 sums. Okay. Imaginary part of z of 3 plus I minus 2 equal to 0. So first I am in general you have to take z is equal to x plus iy, so that it is easy for you to represent in the Cartesian form x and y. So z becomes x plus iy into 3 plus I minus 2. This is not equal to 0. Be careful. Imaginary part of this equal to 0. Okay. First I simplify this. Then I am going to take the imaginary part of this one. So just to multiply these two. X, iy, 3i. Direct multiplication 3x. Direct multiplication I square minus 1 into y minus 5. Already you know how to multiply this complex number. Plus I into cross multiply. I have taken out I outside to get the imaginary parts. Okay. So x into 1 x, 3 into y plus 3y minus 2. Is it clear now? So I am combining real part and imaginary part separately. 3x minus y minus 2 plus I into x minus 3y. This is not our question. Our aim is to find out the imaginary part of this. So imaginary part of z into 3 plus I minus 2 is 0. So in this, imaginary part is equal to 0. X minus 3y equal to 0. Is it clear now? Can you guess what is this equation? What is this locus? This is a straight line. This is a straight line and there is no constant here. So is the straight line passing through origin. Is the straight line passing through origin. Is it clear now? So any straight line of the form, please note this, any straight line ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. All straight lines of the form ax plus by plus c, straight lines are is of the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Suppose if there is no constant in this equation, ax plus by equal to 0. If there is no constant means there is no y-intercept, that is the y-intercept is only origin. So all the straight lines, this model straight lines passing through the origin. Is it clear now? So in this way you have to do the fourth sum. First you have to collect the real part of z plus I, the whole square. So first you have to take z as x plus iy and find the real part of this one, then square it, then equate it to 2. You know these 3 sums, but it is little bit different for you, these 2 sums. So I explained this fifth sum. Thank you.